In the past, I have talked about a wire trough. This is a little something that I designed in order to get wires and pipes from one side of the van to the other side of the van. It works particularly well when you've got a fixed bed situation. When I make a fixed bed in the rear of the van and I want unobstructed clear span under it, I use these 3-inch C-channels, aluminum C-channels, and I span the distance and then I lay my bedboards on top. But having that 3 inches allows me to build what I call the wire trough. The wire trough is 2 3/4 inches, so it's a little bit shallower than my C-channel. So this is a great thing about using these 3-inch C-channels. You can bury a lot of your components, equipment, storage, anything can be built within those 3 inches. So this is the wire trough. Okay, it's 2 3/4 inches tall. It's all made out of 1/2-inch plywood, and it spans from one side to the other. And you can run wires. It's very simple to lay these wires in from one side to the other. You take a wire and you just simply lay it in. You lay it in the trough, you drop it down, and you send it on its way. It's that simple. Here's another one. I'll start this one on the other side, just to show you that it is, in fact, an ambidextrous wire trough. You can start on the left side or the right side. Here's one that hasn't been laminated yet. On the end of the C-channel, I cut that little half circle right at the end. I don't know if you can see that. Right here. So when the wires come over and they drop off the end, let me show you how this works. It's a soft drop. Now, sure, it can drop off the edge, but this gives me a little more room from the end of this wire trough to just drop my lines down. If you want, you can strap them down in here to prevent rattling. The other thing you can do if you don't want to strap them is get some Thinsulate. Cut some Thinsulate and just lay it in on top of these things. It'll keep them quiet so they don't rattle. It'll hold them in place. Very simple. We do a reverse move with our pocket screws. Typically, these pocket screws would be coming in from this side and going in. But I did not want to put any kind of a hole or anything on this side. I wanted this smooth and flush so we could laminate it. So these 3-sided troughs are glued and pocket screwed, but we bring the pocket screws in from the inside. That's not the correct way to use a pocket screw. In this particular case, there's no stress, there's no load bearing that we have to worry about. This is simply a trough to hold our wires and pipes. Like I said, if you've got any kind of a midship bulkhead where you've got a garage separated from the living area, this is an ideal way to get your wires and pipes across. And adding wires in the future is as easy as taking your bedboards off and lay in the new wire. Drop it down where it needs to go. The wire trough. Another thing I did this week is the water manifold for the Big Beautiful Beast. Ironically, this manifold was in a smaller area than Lightfoot. And this one being the Big Beautiful Beast, I thought that was funny or ironic. Anyway, you can see that the rear area of this garage above the water tank is the ideal place for my mechanicals. I've got my entire breaker panel here, and along the side here we're going to put in our DC to DC chargers and our solar controllers. On this side I've got a nice wide open access to my access hatch, my inspection hatch that goes in the top of the water tank. You can see it's marked, but I didn't drill that in yet. But anyway, this turned out very well. I'm very happy with the way this whole panel works. I got a lot going on in a very small footprint here. There's my accumulator tank leading the way, and I positioned it in such a way that you can get at that nipple on top to fill it and check the air pressure inside. Next in line is the water pump. Easy access if it's got to be replaced or when it's got to be replaced. And then let me take you around the other side to show you those beautiful manifolds, but you can get at them either from back here in the garage. You can reach in here and shut off a manifold, or you can get at them through the galley cabinet. You'll also have access that way. So this is going to be 2 massive clothing drawers in this galley bay right here. So if you slid those clothing drawers out off their glides, you'd be able to get at these manifolds and shut off whichever one was giving you a problem. Here's the backside of the water heater. So you can see that once we put all of our beautiful cherry woodwork on the face of these frames, you can still get access to everything behind the scenes. It's basically like a movie set. Everything up front looks like a real town, but in the back, it's all open, and there's extras walking around behind. Okay, with the microwave out of the way, you can see that there's access to all my wiring in the back of my electrical panel there. And then here's my water manifold. So the way I've got this set up is all the manifolds have these shut-off valves, hot and cold. The pickup tube is right here. So it's going to come up from the water tank, go right through here. It's filtered through the pump, through the accumulator, and then back down the lane to these cold lines. One cold line is going to go to the water heater, and then one's going to the galley, one's going to the shower, one's going to the outdoor shower. So that's it. All of these lines, as I said, are inside that 3-inch gap that's created with my C-channel. Look at all the room I have to run things over walls and over frame members. So those elbows will go down to the end and turn left or right, depending on where I need them to go. 2 of them are going to go and turn and come right back along the trough and go to the outdoor shower and the bathroom, which is that way. How do you like flying around like that? Did I make you sick? Another really cool thing that happened this week is I took my daughter and her boyfriend camping for the first time in their own travel trailer. That's right, my daughter and her boyfriend bought a used travel trailer. And where they bought it is a funny story. When the new owner of Mini-Me number 3 was here discussing the build, she mentioned that now, since she's transitioning to this micro camper, she has a travel trailer that she's going to sell. And I said, oh, really? Well, I may have somebody interested in buying it. So I got the information. I went home. I talked to my daughter and her boyfriend. They did their due diligence. Voila. Another connection's been made. This business, Humble Road, is really just one big family. So we got the trailer down here. We tightened up a few things. We provisioned it. And we went to a local campground for an overnight. They have a pickup truck bed camper with the tent. So I slept up there, they slept over here. And while we were there, I gave them all the ins and outs, how to hook up, what to do first. You know, all the stuff I've been preaching on my channel for the last few years. They're in love with this little thing. They called it Gladys, and they plan on taking this thing out west next year. But for the remainder of this season, they're going to be traveling up and down the East Coast. They may dabble west a little bit, but they are thrilled. They love it. You should have seen them in there cooking. And most importantly, she went right out and bought a little tungsten lamp. Cozy. So if you see them out on the road, say hello, chat them up. The family is starting to camp again.